The following review has been approved by Lord Carnage and the best of Classic Game Room. Welcome to a special Classic Game Room. This is a Classic Game Room Q&A where I'm going to answer questions from the Classic Game Room forums at classicgameroom.com. I've got a lot more time now that the best of Classic Game Room is finally complete, so that was a huge undertaking. Let's start with a question here from Dave for Schmups, who asks, Mark, how do you get to TV channel 96 for the Sega Sg 1000? What I used is a VCR, and some TVs and VCRs, you'll need to actually manually push channel 96 because the up and down keys won't get there. So just try a VCR to get to channel 96. Moving on to more questions, Calcelette asks if you can loan games to the show. I'm not taking loaners anymore because my backlog is probably stretching out several years now. I can't play quite as many games as I used to with all the other projects going on, so everything is just slowly being backlogged till the year 2084. So, sorry, but I'm unable to take loaner games now. Maybe one of the other clones can handle that, but they're crazy. I don't even know where they are. Let's see, how did Mark get the PAL Amiga CD32 to work in the US? Asks Dave for Schmups again. I used an HDMI converter. Many of the HDMI converters out there will take a signal PAL or NTSC and just break it into HDMI. So that's how. HDMI converters. They're the way of the future. CGR. How do you feel if someone disagrees with a review? Asks Cupcake. Rather curious on this, being part of forums before, if someone had a different opinion, they would attack them personally. And that's true. I get called an asshole on a daily basis, but I'm just kind of used to it. If you disagree with my opinion, you're allowed to disagree with my opinion. Good to Fuff Friday asks, does Mark want a Sega Mark III? Actually, I have a Sega Mark III, and there will be a review of that soon. Sega Mark II and a Mark III around here. We have lots of Marks here at the Intergalactic Space Arcade. Does Mark have a family? No, I'm a clone. I was created in a tube in space. Live stream game requests. I'm occasionally doing live streams, not too many of them. Sadly, I just don't really have the time. They're kind of fun to do, but time is an issue with live streams. Mark, have you tried the Surface Pro? I have not, asks Bill S. Preston. Esquire, perhaps? Remember Indy 500 for the Gamecom, asks Soul of Nazu. Yes, I remember it was terrible. If only Mark knew about the original arcade game. Indy 500, which is 500 times better than the... that does look better. Indy 500. Indy 500 on the Gamecom sucks. Of course, pretty much every game on the Gamecom sucks. Nothing was safe on the Gamecom. Mark in fighting games. I'm horrible at fighting games. Why don't you review them anymore? I just reviewed one not too long ago, and actually I'm working on a Virtua Fighter 4 review for the PlayStation 2. It's I forget what edition it is, but it's really good. Virtua Fighter 4. I like the Virtua Fighter series. And I just reviewed Fatal Fury on the Neo Geo Pocket Color as well. All right, that's just a handful of questions. There's many more. Let's see what else we got here. CGR at 60 frames per second on YouTube, asks Six Slayer. Probably not going to happen. I typically like a lower frame rate and use progressive. And then in the end, at this point, I'm making everything for eventual Blu-ray release. So I'm going to go with 2397 on my frame rate, not 60. Let's see. When the Cosmic Death Brick approaches, asks Teddy Kong Country. Well, you're doomed when the Cosmic Death Brick approaches. Should you all hail Lord Carnage? Yes, you should. Although the Cosmic Death Brick does appear in the new comic book I'm working on, Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, as one of the good guys. Because the Cosmic Death Brick has a crush on Ethel the Cyborg Ninja. And stops being evil in order to impress her. You can't make that stuff up. I mean, you can, but why would you? Sounds realistic to me. Doge, or D-O-G-E, asks, how do I feel about emulation? I've been asked that one a lot. Personally, I prefer the original game system and the original hardware, like the original Atari 2600 or something. But when that's not an option for you, and you want to play the game and you're not hurting anyone, emulation sounds fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not typically what I do. And let's go with one more question here. And hopefully some of you will ask some more questions in the future. I'd like to make this like a regular thing, maybe on Thursdays. Q&A day here at Classic Game Room in Space. Answer some more questions, since I've been neglecting the questions. Join the forums. The Wind Squid Pub, named after Wind Squid, the intergalactic space squid hero of the universe. U-Haul van versus Turbo, which is better? If you could put the U-Haul van in Turbo, that would be the best. But I agree, the graphics in the U-Haul van review were amazing. Asks Richard, can't read that from here. Richard Hutnick, I think I've destroyed my eyes after playing the GameCom. Richard Hutnick asks that. If only you could drive the U-Haul van in Turbo and smash those other little cars and then explode. But I'm pretty sure U-Haul wouldn't want you to do that, so. And oh, here we have one last question which is relevant. When will the Best of CGR DVD be available to order? Right now. It is finally released. It's available right now. In fact, I've signed about 600 and some copies over the past 2 weeks from the Kickstarter, for the Kickstarter backers, but those of you who missed the Kickstarter or didn't want to back the Kickstarter, it's available now, Blu-ray, DVD, and this record-sized Hyper Laser Vision album set, which has an awesome insert with Stella, and 4 discs, Blu-ray, the DVD set, and the original 2007 Classic Game Room DVD. Since I love records and laser discs and stuff, I like the inserts. I made a huge insert for the Best of Classic Game Room on the Laser Hypervision album set. Alright, well, hopefully see you next time, and I'm looking to get into more of a regular production schedule around here, so you can expect video game reviews on Fridays, Saturdays, and Tuesdays, and Comic Book Day is Wednesday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next Thursday on Q&A Day. Think Soylent Green Day, except that was Tuesday and this is Q&A instead of eating people formed into bricks. It's Q&A Day. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes around here. I'm drawing Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, about halfway through that new comic book. Lord Carnage Book 2 is in my head. I'm planning that for one of the next ones, and I'm also working on another Jesus the Coked Up Chicken comic. And you can buy my digital comics on our eBay store at cgrstore.com. Many of the other ones are also available on amazon.com. And some new films I'm working on. The Classic Game Room Greatest Hits series is in production right now, as is some new experimental stuff, the Classic Game Room Feature Review series. Feature-length reviews. Just think about what that's going to be. Richard Husnick asks, would a Truxton sequel, if an El Camino with a flamethrower, be the best game ever? Yes. The Best of Classic Game Room is now on DVD, Blu-ray, and Hyper Laser Vision album set.